One after another, the prosecutors came forward to state the case against the criminals. The first to speak was Robert Jackson.
In the prisoner's dock sit 20 odd, broken men, reproached by the humiliation of those they have led, almost as bitterly as by the desolation of those they have attacked. Their personal capacity for evil is forever past. It is hard now to perceive in these miserable men as captives the power by which, as Nazi leaders, they once dominated much of the world and terrified most of it. We will show them to be living symbols of racial hatred, of terrorism and violence, and of the arrogance and cruelty of power. They are symbols of fierce nationalism and of militarism, of intrigue and war-making, which have embroiled Europe generation after generation, crushing its manhood, destroying its homes, and impoverishing its life. Civilization can afford no compromise with the social forces which would gain renewed strength if we deal ambiguously or indecisively.
Step by step, the prosecution unfolded the story of the Nazi conspiracy against peace and humanity. The early days of Nazism. The first stormtroopers. You have forgotten this, Rudolf Hess. You are suffering from loss of memory. One moment, we will help you to remember. Do you hear that bestial roar? Do you see these nocturnal frenzies? This demented worship of fire? This wild animal triumph? You remember now, Hess. But there were obstacles in the way of the fascist beast. Man and his ideas and ideals. Culture. Books. And so the books went hurling into the flames. And the savages danced and sang. Suppose the world does lie in ruins. To hell with it, we say. Tomorrow the whole world will be ours, as Germany is today. Hitler became Germany's Führer, and also the servant of his masters, the armament kings. It was von Papen that put Hitler in power, and obligingly resigned to him the post of Reich Chancellor. Hindenburg, before retiring to his grave, gave Hitler his blessing. Banker Schacht acted as intermediary. And the capitalists poured lavish funds into the treasury of the Nazi party. And Krupp, the merchant of death, the real master of Germany, okayed Hitler as the ruler of the Reich. Here they are, a charming family portrait. Bankers hobnobbing with the aggressors. And so everything that breathed of freedom and honesty in Germany was crushed, smothered, trampled upon. The stormtroops became the rulers of Berlin streets. Germany was surrounded in barbed wire. Barbed wire was henceforth to become the symbol of Germany. February the 8th was a big day at the trial. The courtroom was filled to overflowing. Not a single seat was empty. Defense counsel were tense and anxious. The criminals betrayed signs of nervousness. That day, the Soviet prosecution was to open its case. Chief prosecutor for the USSR, R.A. Rudenko. Your Worship, I begin my speech, which will wind up the opening speeches of the chief prosecutors in this trial, with a full and deep sense of the historical import of the occasion. This is the first time in the history of the world that crimes of such magnitude and with consequences so pronounced